Thank you so much. I told Gary before the show this morning that I've never spoken for this short amount of time, so I'm going to do my best to have my mouth keep up with my brain or vice versa. But it's good to see you all this morning. We're going to talk about some economic uncertainty, all of which you're aware of. I want to preface it with just an ask. When you think about uncertainty, or you think about some of these chances of showers, if you will, in the forecast as though you're planning for a trip. Okay? So we're going to think about stepping into the economic future as though we're planning for a long trip. We know the short-term conditions, but we don't know the long-term conditions. We've got to pack for anything, right? All right, so raise your hand if you do feel like things are uncertain right now, particularly uncertain. Okay, the majority of you. Okay, let me see the next slide. I have some good news. I actually have data to back up the fact that you feel like things are uncertain. So that dark blue line you see there, it spiked in 2020, it spiked again in 2025. That is a measurement of economic uncertainty. And it's the highest it's been, minus the pandemic, it's the highest it's been since they started recording it back in the 80s. But the good news is that the light blue line actually measures actual economic health and strength. And as you can see, the strain on the economy is incredibly low. So low is good. The economy, businesses, they're very profitable. It's actually functioning quite well. So despite the economic uncertainty that we all feel, economic conditions are actually looking pretty good. So let's jump into some of the dark clouds. The first I want to talk about is Iran and the spike in oil prices. If I could have the next slide. Here we go. So oil was trending down. It's a beautiful thing. Gas prices were in the 3s. It was very exciting. And as you know, the U.S. and Israel initiated a conflict with Iran. We've seen oil spike above 100. And can you believe that was a month ago, by the way? It's been a month since the conflict with Iran started. Oil prices have spiked above 100. I don't know about your news feed. My news feed is saying that the world is ending. Okay? But if you go to the next slide, I have good news. We've seen this before. We've seen Middle East conflicts before. We've seen supply crunches with oil before. The one on the left is the Iraq invasion of Kuwait. As you can see by the big mountain there, that was the big spike in oil prices as a result of Iraq invading Kuwait. And it was a relatively short-lived phenomenon. The chart on the right is the Russian invasion of Ukraine. Again, relatively short-lived phenomenon. Oil prices have a way of working themselves out. There are a number of mechanisms that help bring oil down. So, are we concerned about sustained $100 barrel of oil? No, not really. My expectation, the base case, most economists think that this is going to be a relatively short-lived phenomenon. Keep in mind, a lot of people want to bring down the price of oil. Okay? There's very powerful entities in the world all motivated to bring that price of oil down. So we don't expect this to be a long-term phenomenon. All right, let's talk about, next slide please, let's talk about tariffs. So if you are in the manufacturing world, I'm so sorry. It has been a really rough ride for you. Last year, we had Liberation Day, rolled out tariffs of like 100 and some odd percent for some countries. Here's the reality. Tariff revenue, effective tariff rates, they hovered around 10 to 12%. Not that crazy. Those initial numbers that we saw last year were opening lines of negotiations. There were so many exceptions and exemptions that the numbers actually came quite much lower than what the headlines were. And so we had tariff rates 12% or so, and then the Supreme Court shut it all down last month. Did you see that? So tariffs, not legal, as mandated by the president. So now we have a new 10% across the board tariff. We'll see if that holds up in courts. Who knows? What are we going to do with all that tariff revenue we collected? We don't know. But the point is, it's not as bad as we thought it was going to be. Thank you. And I'm going to go ahead and just skip the next topic, because what I really want to tell you, let's go ahead and move on. Okay, year-over-year inflation, it's still at 3%. This is why the Fed isn't reducing rates. They can't. Inflation is still too high. Next slide. This is what interest rates have done. They went up, they went down, they're holding. Thank you. This is good morning flow. I know. I told you it was going to be hard for me. Here's the deal. How do you deal with this level of uncertainty, you guys? Okay. That's what I want you to think about it for packing a trip, like a trip. You know, when we pack for a trip, we pack an umbrella, right? We pack shorts. We pack a hat in case it's going to be hot. You want to pack for the environment. So as you business owners are thinking about the future, keep in mind the base case is that we kind of model through slightly higher inflation, slightly higher unemployment, slightly lower growth. Okay, that's the base case. That's what all the smart people think. You can thrive in that environment as business owners. You can plan for slightly lower consumer spending. No big deal. Okay, you can pack for that. But what you should not do and cannot afford to do is pack multiple umbrellas and get so caught up in the packing and the prep that you don't even go on the trip. All right? We are in the beginning, I think, early innings of an industrial revolution like we haven't seen in decades. This AI boom, this robotics boom that we are experiencing, it's still early. And there's going to be a lot of disruption and a lot of change. And you got to take the trip. Okay? The trip is going to be worth it. It's a beautiful time to be alive. So lots of uncertainty. Pack for those things. Prepare for those things. But don't over-prepare. And get on the plane.